Welcome to Cooking 100-Year-Old Recipes. In this video, I am making another item from the Victorian Christmas menu. It is chicken croquettes with peas, cream sauce, and a Victorian wine jelly. In this video, I am going to make a Victorian jelly to go with one other item that was on the Christmas menu, and I do not have a Victorian mold, but I am going to use these fluted muffin tins to make individual servings of the jellies because it is served as a condiment with the chicken croquettes along with some cream sauce, and I think that might be quite tasty. And I am going to put the ingredients up on the screen even though I showed them to you at the start of this video, and the recipe is linked below. But if I were seeing a wine jelly, which is what this is, being made for the first time, I think I would be very curious about the specifics of the ingredients. So there's brandy in it, sherry, and Kirsch. Step one is 2½ tablespoons of powdered gelatin in some cold water. I don't know how much is in these packets because I don't normally use gelatin when I make jam. I use sugar and lemon juice. So 1 tablespoon, so about an ounce per packet. I was going to half this recipe, but you really need the proportions correct for something like this. And I don't want to risk going a little bit off proportion and then have jelly that does not set. That would be disastrous. Looks like this will make about 3 cups total when I look at all the liquids combined. I'm going to stir this up so it's not all lumps. I guess that's going to be very firm. So this sits about 20 minutes, and then the rest is just done with hot water and the ingredients. So I think it's going to have a bit of an alcoholic kick. This would not be child friendly, although I can't imagine a child would like wine jelly at all. I have the water is boiled, and it says to use, let's see, 1 2/3 cup. So I took the juice out because I'm going to need this bigger vessel to do this next step. Of sherry wine, I'm using dry sherry, Spanish sherry. 2 tablespoons of brandy. And then enough Kirsch to bring it up to the right measurement. Saving color with red fruit. Let's see how I'm going to do this. I'm going to put a few pieces in and see if the coloring starts to take over. If it doesn't, I'll put some of the cherry juice in there. But I don't mind it if it stays this color because the rest of the dish has color to it. Looks like a cocktail. Well, it is a cocktail, isn't it? Just turned into a jelly form. Just adding some of the mixture to the gelatin, because at this point it's like a brick, and trying to add it to this will be not so fun. It still has another 10 minutes to go. That should soften up some more. Alright, hit the 20-minute mark, and let's see, the gelatin loosened it up quite a bit with the wine mixture. And this is room temperature now. Gelatin, you can't put hot water on it right away. It really needs to start with cold to hydrate it. And then now this is, I don't know, let me check. I started with boiling water, but I added in more than that in other items, other ingredients. 107, so it's kind of like yeast proofing temperature. But it's also going through a strainer, so I'm not going to concern myself with lumps, anything like that. Get it all in there so we get a nicely shaped mold. And you can see why they would have just used gelatin, because that was all the rage. These jelly molds made with gelatin, where they really could turn anything into a gelatin mold. I'm going to strain it before I begin to pour it into anything. And the last of it I will put in the jelly jar. So I'm going to unmold these jellies. They have been in the fridge for 2 days now. I meant to get to this sooner, but I'll tell you, life gets in the way. And it really is making my whole, like, I can smell the cocktail smell up in my freezer. It's just, it's too much. So I'm going to unmold them. I'm not making the next part today of this. I'm making it tomorrow, and I'm going to put them in here just to get them enclosed in something. Alright, so let's see how they unmold. I don't need this anymore. Thank you for your service. Let's see. Yeah, it's they smell so boozy, but I'm sure they're going to be delicious. Alright, let's see how we do. Come on. Is it going to keep its shape? Or am I going to have a blob? I will not have a beautiful Victorian shaped jelly. Just a beautiful tasting one. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Good consistency. There's a little shape. Hopefully I get some pretty ones for the final presentation. I'm going to leave these out, or maybe do a little warm water under them and see if that helps the fluted edge be more defined in the others that I unmold. So let me try that and come back in just a few minutes. Okay, that did not turn out so well. So what? Apparently gelatin can be melted over a gentle heat and reset. So I'm going to do that and reset it in here. And I'm going to spray it with some non-stick spray also, just to help it along and see how that does. But I will say, even though it looks a little bit of a mess, that jelly is absolutely delicious. Why is everything in this book so good? Oh my goodness, I can't wait to try it. All right, let's see how this Jello looks this time. Hands are clean. Oh, I think this one might still have some problems too. I tried. I do have cooking expertise. I don't have gelatin expertise. I'm doing the best I can. Well, all right, let's turn her out. See how it is. Well, it looks better than the cupcake. But yeah, this would be nice for the pretty presentation for the Christmas dish. Now, it's not as tall and ornate as it would be on a Victorian table, but it's a nice color and it is delicious. So I'm going to get on with making the actual entree because this is a condiment that goes with it. So let's. The croquettes are relatively simple, and it's set to be served for the Christmas menu with peas, a cream sauce that I'll make with milk, and cooked chicken. And then this is the croquette binding white sauce. It's extremely thick, and I made it and then let it cool down already. So I'm going to mix this up and chill it all down so that I can get a really nice shape, because the croquettes I've made in the past from the book, while they were tasty, I made the Lenten croquettes, which is lentil croquettes, delicious, and sweet potato croquettes. They were not particularly nice to look at, and some of that was because the mixture was very soft, a little bit hard to hold. And I want this to look nice for Christmas. Oh, this is January that I made this. Alright, so I cooked chicken. I kind of like how you cook chicken for soup, which is the starter for it. And I'm going to use that, so it's flavorful, cooked chicken. So it's about a cup and a half. A bit more. eggs currently, depends when you're watching this, but in January of 2023 are still in a shortage situation, and the ones that are available are very pricey. Never thought I'd see a dozen of eggs be $9. I was in the store last week and 2/3 of the section where the eggs normally are, and this is a big grocery store, was completely empty. So the ones, finding them in the first place can be hard, and when you do, they're so expensive. I use this, I've had this, I've used this for years when I want to cut a recipe in half and it calls for an egg and I just need half, so I use this for binding. This, of course, you don't want to have it as a meal. Like, I don't think I would eat it like that. This is nice for people who are vegan also, but I use this, for cakes or pancakes, something like that. And it's just a mixture of some different starches that give that binding ability that eggs have. Okay, let's see how far is it. Oh, this is already shaping nicely. Right, the mixture is chilled, and I have my breading station set up. I'm using panko breadcrumbs. That is the egg replacer. I have a sauce server because we have white sauce to go with this. I've already made that. You've seen me make it many times in these videos. And then I've got my oil heating up. Let me go put this out of the way. The oil is heating up here, and I like to use a saucepan because I don't have to use as much oil, and I can get a good height or oil depth in there. And I think I'm going to shape these into balls this time. So I'll have the round balls and the round peas and the round Jello mold. So this is going to be a round meal, looks like. I'm going to serve myself some of these delicious looking croquettes and the jelly and the cream sauce. I think it's going to be very tasty. I feel like I need a bowl because everything's going to slide around. Croquettes, more cheese. Cut into the jelly. The cream's already getting thick. Give it a stir. It'll still be delicious though, I'm sure. Creamy soft interior. Make sure we get some jelly with all of this. The perfect bite, right? Does this look like a Christmas dinner? Oh gosh. It is very tasty. I would be happy to eat this on Christmas. The jelly does add that special touch, that sort of cocktail flavor. It's almost like if you ever eat chutney with some of your dishes. I make chutney sometimes, like with game meat or pork. You have that fruity sweetness. That's what this tastes like, except it's a very alcohol-y chutney fruity flavor. Mmm. Mmm. How wonderful. Another great recipe in the book. I will see you next time.